What's good, guys? I'm John the Chief, and for today's video is gonna be my relic run on Exodus. This is gonna be finally from the point of view of the actual relic runner, so you can see actually what is happening through their eyes. So this time we changed it up a lot. We needed to figure out what works for Exodus, what actually works perfectly. We had some issues with the starting loadout because we were in such a rush to get started. Volt forgot to put on grenade turret, and you want 2 grenade turret people. So if you can check when I press start, we're not using the actual money glitch because you could see that he has 2,600, but that's only because I dropped it, and so that's how he has 2,000. So we're not glitching for money, if that's anything. We actually do this whole entire run legit, and basically, the big thing is getting the first door right, the ancestors right, and learning how to do perfect Medusa. Those are your probably top priorities. For this map, everything else should be relatively easy. Again, you there see Volt forgot something again. He left. Alright, so this is kind of like started the whole entire bad vibe of the run. Because we were joking around a little bit too much during the run, but we still somehow pulled off a really impressive score. So what happened was that Volt, we started in, I pointed out, hey, wait, Volt, why don't you have a grenade turret? He's like, oh shit, he backs out of the game. Then he comes back in, but he forgot to put on the grenade turret because we were talking about what class he should be. And he was like, oh shit, I forgot the grenade turret again. So he backed out, actually had to join back in finally for the last time. And so that was why you'll see what happened. Another fun fact, Krabs, if you didn't know, the guy who was the relic runner for Mayday, who was completely drunk during that run, he is, again, drunk here during this game. So, some funny moments happened, which I'll explain why it happens. It was kind of silly. We screwed up a ton on this run. He crafted something and then backed out of the game to grab something, and basically we just lost a disruptor because of that. So that's as if there was a disruptor that was never even there. So you didn't think about it that way. That's kind of bad. So that was immediate 1,400 score loss because of that. So I hope you guys could guess where this game might go, but somehow we actually did really well. I managed to get next to perfect doors every single time and next to perfect generators every single time. Overall total score lost just off of doors and generators I think was less than 3,000. So hope you, and that's with the relics on. So like basically I checked at the end, the total score loss for doors was like around 200 score loss. That is it. That's all I lost, is about 200 score for doors. And the big thing is our strategy for the first door. So if you want to do it legitly, what's going to end up happening is that you're going to have to do a bunch of money swaps. So you give all your money to one teammate. So for this time, the teammate, I believe it is Justin's Jaguars, and we're just going to keep on dropping money and picking up each other's money. I'm going to lose 250 each time I do this, but we're going to be dropping so much money, it's going to count for the teamwork. Because every single time you pick it up, it counts towards the teamwork. And on doors, you're going to need about, I think the number is 17 drops exactly. I'm not 100% certain on it, but I think it's 17. So don't quote me on that, but that is about where you're going to go to. Just go for 20 if you want to be exact. But I think 17 is the goal number. And you can just see I just keep on picking up money that teammates are throwing me, and I just keep dropping it back. Damage is not my top priority on this first door, because the damage, all you need is like 5 scout kills and a hunter kill, and then boom, you're good for damage for this first door. The big thing that you'll need is just the money. You'll need to get all the drops in, because you need like 17 drops in, and that is really hard when everybody's starting with only 4,000 cash. Because there's not many ways that the money can go down. Plus, you only have a minute 30 seconds in order to actually do all the money drops, so you have to work fast when you're doing it. And I pulled off on this run a 27,000. This 27,000, I think the highest that we've ever had was about a 28.8. I mean, a 27.8. So we did pretty good on that one. And a big thing for Exodus, you want the actual relic runner to activate all the Tesla traps. Those Tesla traps do a ridiculous amount of damage, even if the relic runner activates it. So it doesn't really matter that much who activates it, but you want the relic runner to activate because that's a lot of free damage. Especially when you start getting to the gas station, what ends up happening is that those traps alone will get the damage needed for a perfect teamwork for the relic runner. We ended up wasting a flare because we tried throwing it up there, but it ended up bouncing back and landed on the ground. But that was supposed to help with the challenge. It ended up not helping at all, which was kind of funny. Again, we do a little bit of mess ups on this run, but we did really well. So shout out to the team. It was Justin's Jaguars, Volatile Epic Volt, and a Wacky Krabs, or in this case, a Drunk Krabs. So yeah. So, but don't worry, they all did amazing. It was a great run. I think it's the second highest across all consoles, so that's pretty good. This time we're making me run Armor and Cryptid Slayer ammo. I know this is completely different according to what we normally run, but for Exodus, I decided that since nobody on the team actually specifically liked the Bulldog that much as I usually love the Bulldog, we decided to go with Cryptid Slayer because we had a way to get perfect teamwork even while running Cryptid Slayer ammo. We figured out a strategy. We don't need to throw it down as much. I told them to be careful with their ammo, but they're allowed to have it. And plus, they all really like Cryptid Slayer ammo, so I figured it'll be best for it. I'm running Armor this time because for Exodus, you want more armor since there's a lot more rhinos, there's a lot more mammoths, there are gargoyles everywhere, so you kind of do want more armor on the field than you want ferals usually. If you notice here, I shot a bullet, so I started freaking out. So what I did is I called out, stop shooting, I need to pick up my accuracy. And this is what exactly happens if you shoot during the middle of a drill. You gotta do exactly what I did. You gotta run out there, pump a few bullets, be safe, and when you pump in all those bullets, you'll cancel out your accuracy that happened, and you'll be able to pull off a still next to perfect personal skill. You can notice how well I did at the end of the hive, that missing that bullet actually did almost next to nothing in the long run because I was able to cancel it out. Notice my personal skill was a 2,491. Perfect personal skill is 2,500. Also, you gotta note that I took a little bit of damage from the hunter hitting me, so that's probably where it happened after the personal skill, so I did not lose anything from missing that one bullet. For this door, you want to focus a lot on money swapping, just like we did last time. So typically, what you'll do is that you'll have two people do the challenge, while one person's doing money swaps with you, while you sit back in this corner. I like this corner because it is usually safe from gargoyles and also scorpions if you're able to angle it right. I'm not totally sure if it's angled right in this one, but I think it still goes good for us. Throughout this game, I believe I get a total of 3 perfect 3 perfect doors, including this one. This is one of the perfect doors that we get. A big thing is also you want to activate traps. Traps are very important for the relic runner because that again is instant free damage, and free damage is free score basically, because you need all the damage you possibly can. And that is basically it for the strategy that we're doing. I also want to be making a lot of Tesla. I only make 1 Tesla traps, a bunch of venom grenades, and a few sticky flares. We originally designed this to let 2 people have disruptors, but again, Krabs made one. Then he backed out to pick up team explosives, which I'll get into that story why we needed to do that a little bit later during the run. When there's nothing really special going on, so that way, like, I have time to actually explain what actually happened that caused us to lose a disruptor. Actually, I think that would be a good time. So basically, what happened with Krabs was that, how you're supposed to swap Venom X's is that you're supposed to, ooh, look, a perfect score. You're supposed to have a Semtex, Bouncing Betty, Claymore, or canister bomb, and you're supposed to find those in search boxes. What happened was that he found one. Krabs found one, but he picked it up by accident. He didn't realize it until he until I asked for a Semtex from someone, and he was like, "Oh shit, I accidentally have one." So what happened was that we had the solution of him backing out because he was the one who messed up and picked up the Semtex, to go in, change his loadout to put on team explosives, he came back in, and then we were like, shit, what happened to your disruptor? And we kind of lost a disruptor that we never even got to use because of that. So you could see how kind of unfortunate that was. Because of that, that's a 1,400 score lost right off the bat. So I know we could have improved on this run. There's a lot of room for error on this run. But the big thing is that I annexed up perfect generators and doors, so those are the main things that you guys might want to see how we did that. A big thing is, though, is challenges. Challenges can sometimes mess up the run. There are a lot of challenges that can be excruciatingly annoying on this map, such as on this generator. A very common challenge is don't spend money for 2 minutes. When you get that challenge, it can screw up your run almost instantaneously. That is it. It matters. If you do get it, though, you can still get it perfect. Just make sure you guard that drill. Teamwork will be the least amount of priority if you get that challenge, because after the challenge, you still have 30 seconds left in the generator before it actually is over, so you have that amount of time to actually get in your 10 drops. Remember, it's 10 drops for the generators, 17 drops for the actual doors. That is the rule that you guys want to go to. Exodus, the thing is different than most maps, because the way people memorize the 10 drops is that they let teammates throw down 3 things in total. That is the way people used to look at it, because if everybody throws down 3 things, that is a total of 12 items, and that fits the 10 support drop requirement to get perfect teamwork. But for the doors, you're going to be missing out on 5 things if you do it that way, and that could actually screw up your run, because that is quite a big chunk of score that you're missing if you do that. And there we go, that was another next to perfect door. I had the same personal skill as I did on the last one, because that Phantom had 2 swipes on me, but you don't need to worry about getting hit at all as long as you have armor. And that is the good thing about being the armor runner on this relic run, is because when I'm running armor, I have no worries whatsoever about losing personal skill usually, because as long as I have money, I can throw down armor, and then boom, my personal skill is completely safe. So this challenge was actually kind of disheartening for me, because I realized, hey, this is the challenge that I would have loved to do if I was a relic runner. Plus, also crit to Slayer ammo, nerf shotguns, so that kind of sucks, because they're shooting these slug rounds that are kind of poopy. Big thing for this generator is that your main priorities are going to be these scorpions. Scorpions will be coming around on the roofs. They'll be also hitting you from under the map, which is a big load of bullshit. I hate the scorpions on this map because they act like that. I don't know why they do though, but they do constantly hit the actual drill from underneath the map, and they also will be hitting you from underneath the map. As you can see that my teammate just got splashed from underneath the map. I don't understand why that happens, but it does. It's very common. So weapon challenges should be easy on this map. It's not like on Awakening where it gets kind of hard. As long as you're running 4-player, it'll be easy for you guys to deal with it. Just the big thing on this map is gonna be those drops. On every map, the priority list was most likely the drill protection, teamwork challenge. This map is teamwork drill challenge. Like, the drill is not nearly as big of a priority as it used to be. Also, you might see this. I use these mounted turrets a lot on solo, because the mounted turrets are extremely good as long as you have crit to Slayer ammo. If you guys ever tried it with crit to Slayer ammo, oh my god, it actually takes a buff from just having crit to Slayer ammo in your gun. A lot of people don't know that, but it actually does. It gets a lot more powerful. Try it in solo, is crazy strong on solo games. I might actually show some gameplay later in one of my last tutorial videos for Extinction, because there's not much really more I can show you guys on Extinction. if you guys do want me to show you guys something, or be a little bit more in-depth about like a common rumor or myth about Extinction, I will gladly tell all of you guys or do some testing for you. That way you guys can have a final result. But I think these are going to be probably my last series of Extinction videos, because Borderlands is coming out soon, and I'm a big Borderlands fan. Hope a lot of you guys will be staying for my channel when I switch over to Borderlands. I don't know how much Advanced Warfare I'll be doing, because Advanced Warfare, the issue is that I was not the biggest fan of MW3 Survival. I'll be honest, it wasn't my favorite game mode out there. I didn't even hit level 50 on it, so like I didn't even cap out on that game mode. So I hope that's a clue about how little bit I played it. This challenge is relatively easy. You'll get most likely 2 meteors if you get this challenge. This challenge is very common. You either get this or the bomber challenge. If you get this challenge though, you'll get 2 meteors, and then you'll get a couple of stray seekers that just spawn out of nowhere, and those will be easy to kill. They usually just pop down the front from near where the spawn is, so you guys just have to watch out for that, and then boom, that'll be an easy challenge for you guys. So I'm not too worried about getting all the damage on this one. Damage is never my priority usually. It's always the drops. Drops are very annoying on doors. Only when you get to the last 2 doors that damage will actually be a little bit annoying for you. But when you're on these doors, it is really easy. And there it goes, the second perfect door. We have these doors on lockdown because we have the proper strategy. Hope you guys learned this so that way you guys can apply it to your future score runs. That is basically all I have to say for that. So for these 2 generators, when you're dealing with the ones on the gas station, I say let the relic runner activate both traps, unless the challenge is marked aliens or something where the traps would actually hurt it. I think marked aliens and everybody doing damage to an alien before you kill it are the only 2 actual challenges, which will be actually difficult if you're not the relic, if you activate those traps. So if those 2 challenges pop up, just don't activate the traps. So on this run, we're actually having an engineer on it just for the Medusa fight. I don't know if the engineer actually does too much to the traps, to the Tesla traps on the X's. I don't really see too much of a difference when an engineer runs it than a regular person runs it. So that we just ran an engineer just because of the extra money. That was a bonus, and we wanted to figure it out. Also, they're a little bit cheaper, so that's kind of nice. But there isn't too many buffs to engineer. I see a lot of comments about that, where why don't you run engineer because of the drill protection, but it doesn't help with the score at all for that. I'd much rather have medics and tanks, because the tanks can allow you to be a little bit more risky, lower chance of going down, while the actual medics allow you to heal all your teammates. Basically, you have more healing for everybody, which makes it all around better for everybody. For this game, I think we have 1 of every single class, plus everybody's being weapon specialists as usual. For all our score runs, we have everybody being a weapon specialist, and then if we do have another class, that is for the double class users. This actually negates the need of team boosters at all, because personally, I just like being weapon specialist. I think the extra damage makes it so much easier to guard drills. You don't even have to try to guard drills with all that extra damage that you can pump out. Faster reload speed, and plus the weapon specialist bonus where you can actually just have infinite ammo for a little bit. Takes care of all the difficult enemies like rhinos, mammoths, gargoyles, ancestors, and the bosses such as the Kraken and the Breeder. So it makes it a lot easier when you have a bunch of weapon specialists around you. And there we go, another next to perfect drill. The only thing I lacked in was a little bit personal because I took 1 hit. I don't even remember taking a hit, but I think a bomber touched me. But that's about it. So That was good. So this is the part that got weird. We normally do this door last after we do the generator with the ancestor in the parking garage, but the issue was that we need to find a Semtex, so we thought opening this door we could get some more green search boxes and hopefully find a Semtex in one of those 4 green search boxes. We ended up not, so that's what caused Krabs to actually have to back out, lose the disruptor, get team explosives on, join back in, throw the team explosives, and honestly, leaving him join back in kind of did hurt the team a little bit. We did lose a little bit because of that. It was kind of a silly mistake on our part. So, again, we did make quite a few mistakes. But other than that, we did basically a flawless run. I hope you guys will stay around and look at the score breakdown, because you can see how close to perfect we have for all the doors and generators. Oh, I thought I just heard my dog come in. Never mind. But, so basically, that is it for the actual strategies. Exodus is the shortest map by far, but it also requires the most amount of perfection. A big thing is that if you mess up on a few points, that could be thousands of score lost within the blink of an eye, and that could honestly damage your run a ton. And that was my dog that entered the room. Toby, come on. Toby, come here. Oh, he's trying to look for my ribs. Okay, so anyways, ignore that. That is basically it. During this strategy, you want to be camping on this door. It's very important to open this door from that side, because basically this is like a little condensed hallway where you don't even have to worry about anything. They all come from one way. It's very easy to protect yourself. Just spam grenade turrets down whenever they enter, and you'll get your damage done. Let all your teammates drop drops behind you, and it works perfectly. We usually use this for the final door though, because if you use this for the final door, you get a bunch of rhinos and they're all condensed, and they're really easy to kill with a bunch of people using Cryptic Slayer ammo, just spraying at the end of that hallway, and everything's getting pelted by that. So that was a next to perfect door. We lost only a tiny smidge off of personal skill, but that was basically it. So here comes the actual ancestor generator. This one, you want to worry about the gun challenges till after you're actually done using the killing the ancestor. The ancestor, this is how you're gonna time yourself. Have a teammate throw down a flare, or the tank teammate throw down the flare. And what happens is that you want to judge it by how fast you kill it, because as soon as the ancestor spawns, you throw down the flare, the ancestor should be dead by the time the flare runs out. That is a little bit of a checking point. Typically you want it a lot faster than this, but this is kind of like a little reference point that you want. Another reference point that I use is that the ancestor spawns in the parking garage. You don't want it to pass the actual pipe. So there's a pipe right outside where it spawns. It's a big pipe with a little bit of grates on it, so that way like it's a little bit covered up, and you want to be watching that. You want to make sure that it does not pass that point. That is usually my reference point that I use for solo. So hope you guys try and judge how fast it is based off of that. And you want to be getting the highest ancestor bonus. The only places where we really lost score was item crafting and ancestor bonus. That ancestor bonus we actually lost quite a bit of score off of. If I had a perfect ancestor bonus, I think I would have gotten at least a 4K increase in score. Notice how I'm not really, wasn't really too affected by the actual rhino sitting on top of me hurting me, because I had armor. I'm not too worried whenever I have armor. As long as I have armor on, I can take as much hits as I want, and it doesn't really hurt my score significantly. I'd rather be taking those little hits, but make sure that the drill is being protected. The big thing is that drill being protected and your teamwork. But on this map, remember, drill protection is different than all the other maps. It drops down, I think the score is like about 1/3 the speed of the other maps, so like you can actually see it for yourself when you play a game. You're barely going to be dropping any score for it dropping down to a really low amount. Also, make sure that the Relic Runner is activating these traps. Remember, those Tesla traps are a huge increase in helping you for your damage. So that's why we use the Tesla trap for the police station or the two-story office, whatever you want to call it. I call it police station. But that is it. That was again another next to perfect score. We lost only 706 score off of that. So far you can tell basically by how the doors and generators are doing how good of a score we have. This is gonna be another perfect, and it's the final door. So this is actually, I thought this was really interesting how we got a perfect score, cause this one's a little bit hard to do. Actually, I was really surprised, cause I think I spent like during the middle of it, I run over there and throw that armor for them, and I run back, and I don't get hit at all. Wow, that's really weird. That's lucky as hell. Wow. Anyways, so I'm guarded by 4 sentries here, so that is very useful, having 4 sentries helping you out. I'm just gonna be killing everything. The 4 sentries are mainly used as distractions for everybody. So that way you don't need to worry about them attacking, the rhinos attacking you, because on the last door, on 4-player difficulty, or co-op in general, you're going to get guaranteed 1 mammoth, and at least 6 rhinos. Like, you get a ton of rhinos. So you gotta be ready to kill them, and the thing is that on 4-player, it's hard to kill them instantly. So what you're going to want to do is that you have these sentry guns placed out, and they're scattered around, and what the big thing about it is that they're like seen as giant distractions for a rhino. Like, the rhinos will attack them really often instead of you. So that is extremely useful. We're getting close to the end of the actual final door. It lasts for a long time, so you gotta be doing a lot of spawn killing with it. You want to make sure that your teammates are slowing down the kills. My friend, you can see that he actually threw down team explosives, so that is proof of him actually having to back out to actually do it. Again, another mess up is that he had disruptor nades on him when he threw it out, so he lost his disruptor nades when he threw out the actual team explosives. So that was kind of silly. We lost it, so I ended up having to craft another set of disruptor nades instead of sticky flares or something else that might have been useful for the team. Also, somehow that rhino did not hit me at all. The phantom just walked right past me, and I somehow escaped with a perfect score on that door. I have no idea how I did that. I thought that was really good. Props to my teammate. Remember, as the Relic Runner, it's not really you getting the highest score, it is your teammates that did most of the work. So, that is basically my opinion on it. I think it takes a lot more skill to be the support runner than the Relic Runner, but again, since we wanted to divide the maps amongst all of us, so that is the way it happened. That's the way it turned out. I had to be the Relic Runner for this map. Plus, I want to be #1 on everything on X's for Xbox One, which I still am. I'm #1 for both solo, hardcore, solo regular, co-op regular, and co-op hardcore, so I'm pretty happy about that. And we got a very easy final challenge. Ancestor kill was very fast, like it should be, and it's pretty good game so far. So it was looking towards it looked like it was gonna be close to a 720 if the few mistakes didn't happen that we did. If the ancestors were a lot faster, we could have hit 724. The big thing that we lost score on, though, was the ancestors and the crafting. We had perfect Medusa next to perfect doors. We lost a little bit on generators, but other than that, we barely lost any score at all, like whatsoever. We zilch. Like, you could see how little score that I've been losing off of personal skill, but that would be it, because I would be getting next to perfect generators and next to perfect teamwork. This run did take the longest out of all the other runs, though. I think it took about the 2 Exodus runs I think took the most time. It was the hardest runs to actually get, because it took a while for us to master the Ancestor strategy. I knew how to do it on 2-player, it's just 4 players a little bit hard. And I knew you would get the highest score possible with a 4-player team, that way you could get perfect first doors. Actually, all the doors in fact would be perfect if you do it right. If you saw that hunter actually scraped off a lot of the score. That is a big chunk of the score that we actually lost for the actual total generators. That actually hunter took down, I think that was more than half the total score we lost off of generators, was off of that one hunter hitting it. So that is how much score we lost. Like, it wasn't that much. We had a fantastic run.
Explosive rounds ready.
But this was a very good run. I'm very proud of my friends for helping me do this. And now we're going to be approaching the Medusa fight. The Medusa fight, the whole entire strategy is just how much damage it takes. The thing that I posted about earlier in another video was about the timing when you're supposed to activate, but fortunately my friend Ryan and Scott helped confirm this for me, that it was actually damage that it takes was the final contributing factor for the score that it goes. And that is basically it for the run. You will be, this part is all on your friend's spawn trapping strategy for it. The big thing that I would be concerned about though is none of the actual ancestors, because the ancestors should die fast. It's the seekers that stray away and they go towards the Medusa. So that is where I would be scared for my loss of score if I were you guys. The big thing though, if you want to avoid that, is have a couple of teammates near the front or activate all the traps, and that will stop the seeker spawns a little bit. That will hold them out. But the big thing is that Rhino Seeker combination ancestor, which is the middle gate. That middle gate will be probably the hardest one for your runs. That is by far the hardest in my opinion. That is the only place for real screw-ups. Also, while the ancestor's around, nobody should walk past the yellow poles. Those yellow poles is kind of a guideline, because this happened on another one. We could have had a 7-14, but what ended up happening was that the ancestor threw a shadow ball. One of my teammates, they were running to the middle to pick up armor from that I dropped, and then boom, as my teammate was right next to the Medusa, right at the cortex, the shadow ball hits him, hits the Medusa as collateral damage, and then boom, that is a crap ton of score loss. That is unbelievable amount of score loss just from the Medusa being hit by a shadow ball. Because if you want to think about it as a giant generator. Think about the Medusa as a giant generator, where the only thing that matters is the protection, and it's worth a shit ton of score. So all this score that could be lost. Think about when a Rhino hits the actual generator. So that is like 12 damage off. Then when a ancestor hits the generator, that's like 20 damage. So think about that. And it's just insane amount of score loss. So just consider it that way, how it's probably thousands of like, not thousands of thousands, that's ridiculous. It's probably like leading around 5,000 score loss alone off of a shadow ball hitting it. So you want to be very careful of all of these little factors. Like if a seeker explodes on it, expect it to be at least 1,000 score loss. And you gotta be careful of these things. You want to make sure this Medusa is on lockdown, so spam sentry guns, spam your grenade turret. There's no such thing as being too safe on this Medusa fight. And by the way, if you guys want, you guys can see all of our hardcore runs if you want. Just tell me in the comments if you want to see all the hardcore runs. I was thinking about uploading this either way, but so far my game capture card, my Elgato's not letting me work with my hardcore point of contact run, which I thought that would actually be the coolest run to upload. That was done in a 2-player run with me as a support runner and It's Chicos as the relic runner, and we got a 944 on 2-player. I thought that was an amazing game that we had. It was a completionist. Most of the drills were above 90. A couple of them dropped though, but it was really hard for me to be the only guy supporting him. but we still managed to take the #1 spot on this console, which we did freaking fantastic with, I thought, because again, it was on a 2-player game. And yeah, make sure to leave in the comments if you want to see the hardcore runs. I'm not totally sure about uploading it because I don't know how many of you guys want to see the actual hardcore runs, because they're basically the same exact thing as these regular runs. There's not much different except for the loadouts, the skill point order, and that is basically all there is difference between regular and hardcore. Hardcore, you get a few more enemies, but that is basically the big difference, is that you're going to be dealing with friendly fire and less skill points. But friendly fire will be not your biggest issue, because if you're the grenade turret user and you're killing most of the enemies, grenade turret does not have that friendly fire penalty, so you do not need to worry at all about killing yourself while shooting your teammate with a grenade turret. So that kind of made it really easy to deal with. But make sure to leave in the comments if you stayed through all the way to this part. That would be awesome to know that you guys stuck through all the way and stayed here. So yeah, that is basically it for the Medusa fight. It is rather slow, but you deal with it in 4 sections. I believe are we still in the first section, or I don't even know what section I think we're on the second section. The big thing though is that you can tell how well you're doing by how fast the Cortex is moving up. Usually the Cortex moves very fast during a proper relic run, because the reason why it will move slower when you're not is if they hit the Cortex, it actually loses part of its charge, so it will take longer for you to activate it if you are letting it get hit. So on a relic run, you're not letting it get hit, so it should be moving very fast. And there is not much else to this run. I was very proud of this run. We got really close to the score cap for the doors and Medusa and generators, but we only messed up a little bit on the ancestor bonus. And yeah, we were doing perfectly fine with that. So this was a really good run. I don't see this being beat on Xbox One. So it was a really good run though. It was really good. But it was mostly my teammates. For every relic run is mostly your teammates. It's just you being carried by your teammates the whole entire time. So yeah, I don't like running relics too often on co-op because of that. Also, on the Medusa fight, you want to take note, personal skill does not matter. So you can get hit as much as you want. You can shoot as much as you want. You don't have to throw down anything. You don't have to kill anything. You just need to make sure that Cortex never gets touched. I think this is supposed to counteract for the way the actual generators work, where if the generators drop down a bit, it hardly hurts your score. While on other maps, if the drills drop down a bit, it can completely devastate a run. But like I've seen it where I still get score when a generator dropped down to only 9 health. Like on every other map, it's about where if the drill gets, I believe, to 50, I'm not totally sure, so don't quote me on this. If the drill gets to 50, then you'll be losing a ton of score.
Explosive rounds ready.
And we did really good for that second ancestor. We had a perfect Medusa. Medusa, I would recommend you guys practicing before you try to go for a world record run. You want to practice the Medusa. The Medusa can be kind of tricky a couple of times. There are a lot of places which could go wrong really fast in a blink of an eye. So you want to be always watching out for that on the Medusa. So gotta practice this. This is something where practice makes perfect. So this run did take us the longest out of all the other maps. So we did have a lot of experience on this. We tried this multiple times to get it, and we got it.
Attacking the north gate.
A big thing though is that the actual grenade turret user or the relic runner should be helping guarding the actual Cortex. That is his big thing. You should let most of your teammates be doing spawn traps, and while you're basically just guarding the actual Medusa. That is basically it. Make sure your teammates try not to go through the middle. You saw my teammate could have easily went down the middle, get here faster, but he decided to go around because that is probably the best route that you want to take. You want to go around the actual Medusa because when you run through the center, you're luring aliens towards there, and that's kind of bad. You don't want to do that because when they go through the center, they're going to probably attack the center, or if it's a secret, they're going to explode on the center. If there's bombers, they might explode on the center with you, and you just want to avoid that altogether. Just stay away from that. That is bad stuff. You just say no. Don't go through center. Resist your urge. Take the detour. It's better. It's just a safety precaution. If you play this map though a lot and you know when you can run through the center, do that. But just as a precaution, we try to stick with that rule: do not run through the center. And we're finishing up on a run here. As soon as you see the score end, then you can get ready to activate it. So as you can see, what's gonna happen is that I'm gonna get a little money sign pop up soon, where that means that I got my score. I got my last piece of score, and that will allow me to know that hey, we can finish the map. So I'm at 619 right now. So after this, I should be at around 661. 661? Yeah, 661. I think that's it. I'll be at 661, and now I'll call out saying, yo, we're good. We got the final chunk of score, and that means we can activate the Medusa, and now instantly allow us to get the final piece of score, and then we'll have a perfect Medusa that way. And we're basically done with the run. I noticed we got the score. I'm yelling at my teammates, we can get the hell out. Time to end it. And boom, there we go. 717k. If we did not mess up with that crafting mistake with the team explosives and we dropped out, if we just stuck to disruptor nades and he never built that, that would be extra crafting for me if you think about it that way. And I would be at a 718 and 700 basically. So that would have been the score I was basically at. It was a very good run. The kills that Krabs had, that is not a real amount of kills. Remember, he backed out and he had to rejoin in. So, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Remember to leave a comment if you wanted to see anything else, like you want to see the hardcores, or you want, or anything at all. Just tell me, and hope you guys have a great day, guys. See ya.